This is a walkthrough for this paper 3 higher tier maths calculator paper for Edexcel from November 2024. Question 1. The table shows information about the times in minutes 100 people took to complete a bike race. On the grid below, draw a frequency polygon for this information. So for a frequency polygon, we need the midpoint, which would be 130. And you plot the midpoint against the frequency. So 130 against 12. And that would be here because the y-axis just goes up in ones for the mini boxes. Here we've got 150 against 28. 170 against 30. 190 against 22. And 210 against 8. And then we join them up, the crosses, with straight lines. Question 2, write 3.402 times 10 to the 5 as an ordinary number. We'll multiply in 3.402 by 10 5 times. So the number moves kind of 5 places to your left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 340,200. Write 0.8026 in standard form. Standard form for small numbers, it's to the 10 to the power of a negative number. Now, the first number needs to be between 1 and 10, so 8.026, and we're dividing 8.026 by 10 to get 0.8026. The movement's one place, so it's -1. Question 3. Use ruler and compasses to construct the bisector of angle ABC. You must show your construction lines. So we need angle bisector. So it's kind of difficult for me to show you this because I don't have an online compass. I'll explain what to do. So you put your point of your compass at B. You open up the compass. It doesn't really matter how far along the line you open it, but once you've opened it, do not move it. So you've opened up your compass, the point goes here, you draw an arc and an arc. Keep your compass open that distance, put your compass point here and draw an arc. Do the same thing from here and then join up B with where your arcs meet, and that is your angle bisector. Question 4. Dan is playing cards. The probability that he will win a game of cards is 0.3. Dan plays 2 games of cards. Complete the probability tree diagrams. Each branch adds up to 1. 1 take away 0.3, 0.7. So again, wins 0.3. Does not win 0.7. 0.3, 0.7. Work out the probability that Dan does not win either game. So we're looking along this branch and along this branch. You multiply along the branches, so 0.7 times 0.7 equals 0.49. Question 5. Robin buys 240 pens and pencils, where the number of pens to the number of pencils is in the ratio 3 to 5. Before I even look at the rest of this question, I'm going to work out the number of pens and the number of pencils. So we've got 8 parts here altogether. 240 divided by 8 is 30. 3 parts for your pens, so 30 times 3 is 90. Number of pencils. 5 parts for your pencils, so 50 times sorry, 5 times 30, because each part is worth 30, 150. It's got 150 pencils and we've got 90 pens. Robin pays 9p for each pen. She sells each pen for 11p. Robin pays 6p for each pencil. She sells each pencil for 10p. Robin sells all the pens and pencils. Work out Robin's percentage profit. Answer correct one decimal place. A couple of different ways you can do this. I'm going to work out the total profit first. Use this formula which you use to find percentage increase or decrease, because it's percentage increase. It is the difference divided by original times 100. Okay, so let's work out the total amount of money Robin has made first of all. So each pen she buys for 9p, the 90 pens for 9 pence. 90 times 9 is 810 pence. Similarly for pencils, 750 times by 6 pence, because each pencil 6 pence, 900. Sells each pen for 6p, so nope, sells each pen for 11p, so 90 times 11. So she makes 990p. And for the pencil she makes, well, she sells each for 10p, so 150 times 10, 1,500 pence. So let's find the actual profit first. So 990 minus 810, 180. And here we have 1,500 minus 900, 600 pence. Let's add those together. So Robin has made a total profit of 780 pence. And that is the difference between the amount she spent on the equipment and the amount she made for it, the amount of money she brought in. The difference is 780. The original, how much everything cost. So I'm going to add these values together, 810 plus 900. So that's my original times 100. 45.6%. Stem and leaf diagram shows the test scores of 22 students from school A. So if you look at your key here, it's showing us that these numbers on the left hand side of the line represent tens, on the right hand side represent units. So this number here would be 42. 23 students from school B did the same test. Their median score was 56. The range of their scores was 47. Compare the distribution of the test scores of the students from school A with the distribution of test scores from school B. Okay, so the median is the middle number. Could cross them off at each end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which have got the same amount on each side, and just by the way, they are ordered from smallest to largest already. Yeah, so 1 leaves us with 57 in the middle. So median for A equals 57. So all you need to say here, the median for school A is higher. Now let's look at the range. The range is the biggest number, take away the smallest number. Biggest number 79, smallest number 30. So range is also higher for school A. Question 7. Yana used her calculator to find the value at number t. The answer on her calculator began as 10.2. Complete the error interval. So the smallest number it could have been is actually 10.2, because if I added anything on the end, doesn't matter what it is, it'd be bigger than 10.2. What is the biggest number we could have? Well, 0.2999 could have been on a calculator, but because we've got t as last time, there's no equals there, we can put 10.3 here. Question 8. ABC is a right angle triangle. Calculate the length of AB. So I'll put an X here. So you should have spotted, hopefully, we've got right angle triangles here, so it's either Pythagoras or SOHCAHTOA. Got an angle, so it's SOHCAHTOA. Opposite, adjacent, tan. Tan of an angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. How do I get X here? How do I make X subject? I times both sides by 7.6. X is 7.6 times tan 62. 14.3 to 1 decimal place. Question 9. Simplify fully the following. So let's multiply 2 by 7 first, which is 14. X cubed times x squared, we add the powers. Y to power 5 times y, well y is y to the power 1, so y to the power 6. Simplify m squared to the power minus 3. We've got a power, we're like powering a power to a power, you multiply. 2 times negative 3, negative 6. In a sale, the normal prices are reduced by 15%. Amina buys a dress in the sale for 46.75%. Work out the normal price of the dress. A couple of different ways of doing this. I'm going to look at the original amount is 100%. That's what I need to work out. So if something's been reduced by 15%, 100% take away 15% is 85%. And that's the cost of the dress after the 15%'s been taken off. So 85% represents 46.75, so I'll get 1% and then 100%. So to get 1%, I need to divide by 85. Here's 0.55, and then times by 100, £55. OAB is a sector of a circle with centre 0, radius 4.7. Sector has a perimeter 34.3. So this is the perimeter of the sector. We know OB is also a radius, so it's 4.7. So A to B is the arc length. So if I take those two 4.7s off of my 34.3, I'll have the distance arc length from A to B. So it's 24.9. The arc length is 24.9. Formula for arc length is theta over 360 times the circumference of a circle, which is 2 pi r. I know that is equal to 24.9. I also know the radius is 4.7, so I can put in my radius. Okay, so I'm going to times both sides by 360 first. Which gives us theta times 2 times pi times 4.7 is 8,964. 2 times 4.7 is 9.4. So theta times 9.4 pi is equal to 8,964. I'm going to divide both sides by 9.4 pi. We'll just leave it like this and then work it out. So to the nearest degree, 304. That's 303.55 on a calculator, rounds to 304 degrees. Question 12. Rudy invests £4,500 in a saving account. He gets a compound interest at a rate of 2.4%. So as a multiplier, 2.4%, we add it to 100%, which is 102.4%. As a decimal, divide that by 100 to get the multiplier, it's 1.024. And then same with 1.8%, I would get 101.8%. Divide it by 100, which is at 1.018. Oh, for every extra year, so that's the first year, you're 2.4%. And then for the other 2 years, I'm going to square this. And we've got our first year, second year, third year. So the final answer is 4,775.38. Una buys a car for 7,500. The value of the car depreciates by X% each year. I'm just going to put times and multiplier to the power the number of years, which is 2. And the value at the end is 4,107. So I want to make M the subject here. I'm going to divide both sides by 7,500. I get 0.5476. Square root both sides. And I get 0.74. That's my multiplier, 0.74. What is that as a percentage decrease? Well, I need to sort of do the opposite to what I did here. But that was for an increase as well. So 0.74 as a percentage is 74%. So if I'm left with 74% at the end, what's it been decreased by? 100%, take away 74%, which is 26%. So it's 26% decrease. ABC and AED are straight lines. BE is parallel. BE and CD are parallel. We've got some different lengths here. BE is 4.2. CD is 6.3. AC 10.8. Now, hopefully you can see we have some similar triangles here. We've got the triangle ABE and the larger triangle ACE. So 6.3, 4.2, 10.8, AC, ABE, ACD. So let's get our scale factor first of all for length. So 6.3 divided by 4.2, 1.5. We can work out the area for this bigger triangle because we have the base and the height of our triangle. 10.8 times 6.3 divided by 2. 34.02. Scale factor for area is 1.5 squared. So, to get the area of the smaller triangle, 34.02 divided by 1.5 squared. 15.12. The area of the trapezium BCDE is the big triangle minus the small triangle. (18.9). Question 14. Prove algebraically that 0.462 recurring can be written as 229 over 494. So let x equal, I'm going to write this out in full. It's just the 6 and the 2 recur because the dots are over the 2. Because it's a double digit recurring, I'm going to multiply it by 100. If it was single digit, I'd multiply it by 10 or triple by 1000. I'm going to put my x right underneath it. And I'm going to subtract 100x minus x is 99x. If I subtract this right hand side, everything cancels from here to make 0. 46.2 minus 0.4 is 45.8. Divide both sides by 99. Multiply both by 10. Simplifies to 229 over 495. Question 15, make P the subject. So I'm going to expand my brackets first of all. 4p minus 6. I'm going to times both sides by 5 minus 2p. Right, I'm going to expand my brackets. 5t minus 2p times t is 2pt. Anything with a p I'm going to get on one side, anything without a p on the other side. So I think I'm going to get my p's to the right hand side by adding 2pt to both sides. So 5t equals 4p minus 6 plus 2pt. I'm going to bring my minus 6 over by adding 6 to both sides. Then I'm going to factorise into a single bracket by taking p out, because I want to isolate the p and get it by itself, and divide both sides by 4 plus 2t. So this is my answer. You'd have brought everything else the other side. You would have got minus 5t minus 6 over minus 4 minus 2t is equal to p. OBCD is a rectangle, DCE is a straight line. B has coordinates 2, -4. E has coordinates 12, minus 6.5. O is the origin, so the coordinates here are 0, 0. So we can work out, can't we, the gradient of OB, which will be the same as the gradient DCE. So to find the gradient, it is y2 minus y1, difference in y over difference in x. So x2, y2. Doesn't matter which way you label these, as long as it goes x and y. So we have minus 4 take away 0 over 2 take away 0. The gradient of OB is -2. gradient of DCE is -2. We've got a coordinate point here on the line DCE, so we can find the equation of the line. We know the gradient is -2. I can sub in these values because y is 12. Nope. Y is -6.5. X is 12. -2 times 12, -24. So I just need to add 24 to both sides. Which gives us C is 17.5. So the equation of the line DCE is y equals -2x plus 17.5. OB, the equation of that line, well, the intercept here is 0. So the equation of this line here is just y equals -2x. The equation for OD is perpendicular to DCE. So the gradient for -2 is -2 for DCE. -1 divided by -2 is a half. So the gradient for OD is a half. So the equation of the line OD, y equals half x plus c, because the y-intercept is 0. So it's just half x. The c-intercept 0, so it's y equals half x. Now I know that OD, I know the equation line OD in DCE. I put those equations equal to each other because they're both equal to y. I can find the x coordinate and then the y coordinate. So half x is equal to -2x plus 17.5. Let me add 2x to both sides. Divide both sides by 2.5. Gives us x is 7. Sub it into this equation here to find y. Y is half times 7, 3.5. Coordinates of D are 7, 3.5. Question 17. Here is a triangle ABC. Work out the area of a triangle ABC. So this is question 17. We've got a scalene triangle. So the area formula is half AB sine C. They're already labelled, so I'm going to stick with these labels then. So this is little a, opposite big B, little b, opposite big bit C, little c. I'm going to work out this angle here. I do find that people prefer to memorise the cosine rule for missing angles. So it's cos A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. Right, I'm just going to need to change up some of these letters now. I'm just going to draw my triangle again, I think. So my A is the angle I want to find, which is that one there. That's got to be little a. B and C don't really matter. So B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2 times B times C will give me cos A. I'm just going to type that into my calculator. And I'm going to inverse cos answer in a minute. That gives me 0.62766 by cos to the minus 1. The answer I get A is 51.12 degrees. So I can now do my half A times B times sine C. Correct to three significant figures, 56.0. Because you get 55.96 would round to 56.0. Question 18. Maria wants to find an estimate for the number of frogs in the lake. On Saturday, she catches 40 of the frogs. She puts a tag on each frog and releases them. On Monday, she catches 55 of the frogs. 11 of the frogs have tags. A. Work out an estimate for the total number of frogs in the lake. You must show all your working. So this is kind of linked to biology. So you might be familiar with this formula. Tagged in second catch over total in second catch equals tagged in first catch over total population. This is dealing with proportion. So tagged in second catch, 11, over total in second catch, 55. Tagged in first catch, 40, over total population, we don't know, we're going to call it N. 11 over 55. You could actually simplify that to 1 over 5. I'm going to now times both sides by n, divide both sides by 1/5. So 40 divided by 1/5 gives us 200 for the total population. State one assumption that you made, so I would say that none of the frogs have died. Probably quite a lot of answers, so I'm just going to look at the mark scheme and give you some more answers for that one. No frogs have left or arrived in the lake. No tags have fallen off. No lost tags. Sample of frogs taken was a random sample. Tagged frogs are distributed around the lake. No baby frogs. No frogs have died, etc. Question 19. The diagram shows a cone. The radius of the base of the cone is 3/4 the height of the cone. I'm just going to call the height H and the radius I'm going to just call 3/4 H. The total surface area of the cone is 54 pi. So here's the curved surface area of the cone, and then plus the area of the circle at the bottom, which is pi r squared. So we've got pi rl plus pi r squared. The curved surface area plus the circle at the bottom is equal to 54 pi. Let's substitute some values in here. So r is 3/4 h. L. We need to find L by using Pythagoras because we have a right angle triangle. H, 3/4 h. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is my c. A and b, doesn't matter which way round, are the other side. So h squared plus 3/4 h squared is equal to c squared. 3/4 h squared, 3/4 times 3/4 is 9 over 16 h squared. So 1h squared plus 9 over 16 h squared, so 9 over 16 plus 1 is 25. Just do it on your calculator. It's 25 over 16 h squared is equal to c squared. Square root both sides. If I square root 25 over 16 h squared, it becomes 5 over 4h. Well, we already know 3/4 h squared is 9/16 h squared, so I can put that straight in as my r squared bit here. Okay, so how am I going to rearrange this nasty thing here? I'm going to divide through by pi first to get rid of all the pi's. 3/4 h times 5/4 h. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 4 is 16, so it would be 15/16 h squared. Ooh, so this looks a little bit nicer already. I can add, we've got like terms here, so 15 over 16, add 9 over 16 h squared, gives me 24 over 16 h squared. I'm going to divide both sides by 24 over 16. Gives me h squared is 36, square root both sides, h is 6. Solve the simultaneous equations. I'm going to make y the subject here, and then I can substitute it straight into the top equation. So let's take 2x off both sides. Now sub in here. We've got a double bracket here. So 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times minus 2 minus 14x minus 2x times 7 minus 14x minus 2x times minus 2x is plus 4x squared. Okay, let's do a little bit of rearranging here. 49 minus 28x. The quadratic equation, so I need to get everything over to one side. I'm going to choose the left hand side, not a positive x squared. I'm going to take 3x squared off both sides, which will give us an x squared here. And I'm also going to take 4 off both sides, which will give us 45 here. I'm going to just change the order up here. X squared minus 28x plus 45 equals 0. It's asking to have a solutions to 3 significant figures, which suggests that it is the formula, the quadratic formula. I will need to solve this. So A is 1, B is negative 28, C is 45. So minus B, minus 28 plus 28. Don't forget, in your calculator, you definitely have to have this minus 28 in brackets. All over 2 times 1, which is 2. So I'm going to work out the bit of the square root first. 604. So one of my answers is 28 plus root 604 all over 2. Which is 26.3, which is 3 significant figures. And the other answer is 28 minus root 604 all over 2. .71. So these are both the x values. We also need to find the y values. So when x is 26.3, I'm just going to sub it into this formula to find y. So 7 minus 2 times 26.3 minus 45.6. And when x is 1.71, y is 7 minus 2 times 1.71. 3.58. Right, let me just highlight my answers here. Here is the graph of y equals f of x. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals minus f of x. So minus outside your function means a reflection in the x-axis. So this point would go here, this point would go here, and it kind of meets at 0 here. And this point would go to here, and then we've got a straight horizontal line. Here is a sketch of the graph y equals sine x. Point P is a turning point on the graph. Graph of y equals sine x is translated to give the graph of y equals sine x plus 180 add 4. Following the translation of point P, shown on the graph above, moves to point R. Find the coordinates of point R. So this is the graph of y equals sine x. I know we have 180 here and 360 here. So point P is, and again I know for a sine graph it goes from -1 to +1. So the coordinates here for P, as they are, 270 -1. So this adding 180 inside the function means we move left 180. This point P here moves 180. So there's 90, 90 again. Point P would first of all move to here. Adding 4 outside your function means the graph moves up 4. So we'll go from -1. So 1, 2. We'll go all the way up to a point that's not on my graph here. We'll go to 3. So the new coordinate points for P would be up here. There's 3 on the y-axis, 90 on the x, so it will be 93. Question 22. Here is a velocity time graph for an aeroplane. Work out an estimate for the distance the aeroplane travelled in the first 30 seconds. Use 3 strips of equal length. So to find the distance on a velocity time graph, we need to find the area under the curve. Wants us to split it into 3 strips, and in the first 30 seconds, so it would be at 10, 20 and 30. We need to find the area between 0 and 10. So we have a triangle here. Area of a triangle is half base times height. Going up in 2s on your y-axis, so 54. And then to 20. Trapezium. These are the parallel sides on your trapezium, and the height is between 10 and 20. It's half a plus b times h for the area of a trapezium. So half a is 54, b is 76, height is 10. 650. And last strip. 840. Add those three areas together. Gives us the total area or distance covered by the plane, 1,760 metres. Sketch the graph of y equals x squared minus 6px minus 7, showing the coordinates of the turning point in terms of p and the coordinates of the intercept with the y-axis. You must show you're working out. So the intercept with the y-axis will be minus 7 because it crosses the y-axis when x is 0. 0 squared minus 6 times p times 0, which would be 0, minus 7 would give you minus 7. So here is where it crosses your y-axis. It's a curve, quadratic graph, positive x squared, so it would look something like this. Draw that again. Now this turning point here, we can find by completing the square. So to complete the square, we halve this 6px term, or half 6p rather. If I expanded those brackets, I would get x squared minus 3px minus 3px plus 3p times 3p, which is 9p squared. So the minus 3px minus 3px would give the minus 6px. But we'd have a 9p squared we don't want from the minus 3p times the minus 3p. We need to take that off. Now, the turning point here, I'm just going to draw my graph again to make it look more symmetrical. So the turning point here, you can find the x and y values from our expression for completing the square. This is the opposite sign. The x value is 3p. It's always the kind of the opposite sign here inside your brackets, and the y value is always the bit outside your bracket. Question 22. Here is a velocity time graph for an aeroplane. Work out an estimate for the distance the aeroplane travelled in the first 30 seconds. Use 3 strips of equal length. So to find the distance on a velocity time graph, we need to find the area under the curve. Wants us to split it into 3 strips, and in the first 30 seconds, so it would be at 10, 20 and 30. We need to find the area between 0 and 10. So we have a triangle here. Area of a triangle is half base times height. Going up in 2s on your y-axis, so 54. And then to 20. Trapezium. These are the parallel sides on your trapezium, and the height is between 10 and 20. It's half a plus b times h for the area of a trapezium. So half a is 54, b is 76, height is 10. $650. And last strip. 840. Add those three areas together. Gives us a total area or distance covered by the plane, 1,760 metres. Sketch the graph of y equals x squared minus 6px minus 7, showing the coordinates of the turning point in terms of p and the coordinates of the intercept with the y-axis. You must show you're working out. So the intercept with the y-axis will be minus 7 because it crosses the y-axis when x is 0.